Good morning, guys, and welcome back to my channel. So this morning I want to say shout out to Kelvin, if I'm pronouncing his name right, for that beautiful comment that he made on one of the videos that I've made. So today I'll be giving you guys an update on the loaf, and also try to answer some of the questions that he had asked, or some of the topics he had asked me to touch on. So with the breeding situation, I find that a lot of persons are having that issue right now. A lot of persons that raise birds, including myself, it's not as bad right now, but recently I was getting a lot of fat eggs, like completely. Almost every time they lay, it was fat eggs, right? So what I've done, my birds are different from you, as you told me that you have Homo pigeons, right? So what I've done is, with my birds, Fantail's in a hole. Sorry, my little puppy is at my feet, distracting me. Come on, come out of the cub. Yeah, so that's right. So okay, let me focus. So what I was saying is this now. With Fantails, one of the main reasons why they end up have fat eggs is that behind them, especially my type of birds that have a lot of feather foot, the feather foot sometimes goes all the way up to the back. This end right here is a prime example. She's on 2 eggs right now, 2 fertile eggs, so I don't want to trouble her too much. What I had to do, this is a cock pigeon for her. What I had to do is trim the backside of them, as in their butt, right there. Trim around there. And this does not only goes for fantail pigeon, because I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube, especially persons that raise racers pigeon and so forth. And what they say is that that's one of the things you can do to rectify fat eggs or infertile eggs. So even though your pigeon is not fantails, you can still try that with 1 or 2 pair and see if it works. So what you do is you get a scissors and you basically try to trim around at the back of the bird, right where the butt is. Try not to cut it though, right? And see if that helps. Another thing you can do is switch up the feed. I don't know what type of feed you give them. If it is a lot of corn tend to cause a lot of fat eggs. So that's another thing you can switch up, because that's what I did with mine too. I switched up the type of feed that I was giving them to see if that's the reason why I was getting so much fat eggs. And I'm now getting more fertile eggs, because as I say, this pigeon's on 2 fertile eggs right now. This one recently laid. I have a test that egg as yet. It's not reached to the point where it can be tested as yet. In terms of using a flashlight or a phone light, once the egg has reached to about 7-8 days, you can check it and you will see the blood vessels in it if it's fertile. Right? And you had also mentioned about the fowls. Here they are. It's not that I raise fowls. These come from all about. In the mornings when I clean out, they normally get feedings out here, so they're just here. But they're very beautiful too. Look at that. Very beautiful. I like the colors. That's another thing for this year, not this year, right? Next year, 2025. One of my aims is to get some unique color pigeons in my loaf. So I'm going to touch on that also. I think this video might be a little bit long, not too long, but a little bit longer than the mine. So these are just chickens that are free to roam. So sometime I will get eggs from them depending on where they lay. But these are free to roam chickens. Right? So back to the birds. Okay. So as I said, for 2025, look at this beautiful tail mark right here. beautiful pigeon. So for 2025, one of my aim is to get some unique color pigeons. I've been working with this cock pigeon a lot. He's just there relaxing right now. Yeah. Oh, another thing. There's so many things to touch on. I'll be showing you guys the chicks. Cause if you watch the last video that I upload, they had hatched 2 chicks. But what I did is I put them in a different nest so that they can go back to lay really quick. So now they have laid back and they're on 2 fertile eggs. So what I was saying is this. I'll be working to get some unique colors. I'll be breeding a lot of reds. I went all the way to St. Elizabeth to get back this hen right here. This is an hen that I've bought a while back, but I had sold somebody it, and I asked him if he was willing to trade it because I wanted to put it back with this one that I can produce some decent reds. Decent reds. If you can look at them, you can see that their tails are perfect match. This is a perfect red, recessive red. Look at their tail even match. Normally you'd see a red pigeon, but their tail feather is normally like white or gray or so forth. But those are fully reds. So I want to breed them together and see what they will produce, and also do some experiments from their offspring. Look at this big beautiful pigeon in the middle right there. Look at the size of that tail. That's one that I recently acquired also. This pigeon right there that you see the purple at the back side right there, it's actually nothing is wrong with him right now. He caught yars for a short while. Once I noticed it, because I really observe my pigeons, once I noticed it, I dressed it with a purple dressing and it dropped right off, right? So it's fully okay, fully healthy and everything. It's just for those feathers to change out. I might pick them out for them to grow back a bit faster. But he's fully okay, there's nothing wrong with him, okay? Alright, you had mentioned about identifying the pigeons who are cocks and who are hens. That's a bit complicated, and I will show you why. Not really that complicated. The best option for that is to observe your pigeon, especially if you have like an open loaf like this. I don't know how your loaf set up, or if you have it segmented. I have segmented parts all around here. I soon touch on around here where I have breeding sections for specific pairs, right? So in an open loaf situation like this, you can observe them and see how they behave over time. But the tricky thing about it, look at this pigeon right here. The tricky thing about it is that sometimes pigeons do lay and bring 2 hens. I'm going to show you a prime example. This right here. These 2 actually hatch together, right? These 2 hatch together same times. 2 eggs bring forth these 2 pigeons. So I thought originally that this one was definitely a cock pigeon, right? He's bigger in body than the other one and so forth. So naturally I thought this one was a cock pigeon. However, they are both hens. And the only way I found that out was after observing them. I noticed that this one started dipping to a cock pigeon and so forth. And I noticed that it was 2 hens. However, another way you can know cock pigeon from hens is their head. The cock pigeon head, this is a cock pigeon right here. And apart from like the aggressive behavior, yes, that's a cock pigeon right there. So they are very territorial. That's his spot over there. He doesn't want nobody coming over there. That's his spot. So what I was getting at is this now, right? Apart from the behavior, the cock pigeon head is normally bigger and have a more, okay, the hen head is smaller and have a more rounded shape. So that's one way you can know them. The head of them tells a lot. So the hens normally have a smaller head and a more rounded head, right? Compared to the cock pigeon that normally have a bigger head. Okay, and body size normally big and so forth. You can see this cock pigeon right here. Look at the size of his head. That's a head right here. You can see the head is much smaller. Let's see if I can find other examples to show you. So down here, the head tells a lot. You see that? So that's one way you can tell the cock pigeon from the hen. We usually have some other ways that we do back in the days, like you hold the pigeon by its feet and you take the beak. I'm recording so I can't really do it. So you normally hold the pigeon by its feet right here, and then you use your other hand and you hold the beak and bring it down to the feet, right? If you see the tail goes up, it's a hen. That's a traditional way that we normally do it back in the days. And if the tail goes down, it's a cock pigeon. But therefore, that is not really as reliable. Okay? So as I say, the best option is to like observe your pigeons and see how they behave. Right? Put them in different situations. Like once they're mature enough, you can like, if you have a certified, if you know you have a cock pigeon that is sure to be a cock pigeon, you just put him in a part with one of them that you're not so sure about, and you see how they react. The cock pigeon will naturally try to, if it's a hen that you have put him with, he will try to cool down that hen and try to mate with that hen. But if it's a cock pigeon, he's only going to try to fight him, right? So that's another way you can test to find out. Okay, I think I've touched on some. I'm not sure if I touched on all the topics, but I've touched on a lot of them. So as I said, like for 2025, I'll be trying to breed some unique colors, and I encourage you guys to like watch some videos. You see the guys that do raise racers and those type of birds. They're really into the genetics aspect of the birds, and that's very interesting. These fowls, say, that's very interesting, because what I've researched and shown me is that I want to achieve yellow in the coming year. That's the color that they call yellow, or they refer to as yellow, right, in pigeons, which is actually a dilute of red. I've always watched videos on YouTube with pigeons, and I've always seen where they pair the yellow with a red or a black, not knowing that the yellow is actually a dilute of red. Understand? So I'm really going to be working towards that side, and I want to achieve some more of these champagne colors. That's another project right there. This pigeon is so beautiful. So beautiful. So I'm going to be working with him a lot in the coming year, but instead of pulling out the pair, I want to have the pair throwing the chicks, and then now the chicks I'll experiment with crossbreeding them with other colors to see what I can achieve and so forth and all of that. So okay, I'm gonna go around the breeding section. I won't make the video much longer, just to show you guys what's going on. Oh, and also to give you guys a look at what those chicks were. The colors of the chicks. Remember I was saying, like, can you guys guess what color the chicks would come by? Okay, so I got a red out of them. This one is a red right here. So this chick is out of the same package that I just showed you, and the end that is in the nest, and the 2 eggs now. So if you look in its flights, it's gonna be a nice red. You know, they get deeper in the color as they grow. You can see his tail is just as the dad, but the thing is, I want to put him with the red hen that they will produce even more deeper red. Understand? That's what I want to achieve. This is a beautiful chick right here. Let me show you the feather foots on it. Look at that. It's gonna be a nice bird, but I have a surprise for you guys. I have a surprise for you guys. Like, look at this one. Wow. this one. Now this one is not gonna be a red. It's not gonna be red. However, it's gonna be a very nice bird. Look at this now. Look at the feather foot on this one. Look at that. These haven't started even growing out as yet. Look at the length of that feather foot. See that? They haven't even started growing out yet. These are still baby feathers. This is a really nice bird. Really, really